Thank you, Coach. My first question will be very much simple. Coach Brendan Futter was here and he says Orlando Pirates are favorites for this final. What would your response be?
Good afternoon. I take it, I accept it. We are Orlando Pirates. Any game we're going to play, we have to accept that role and that pressure, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that it's going to be an easy game, and just because we are Orlando Pirates, we're going to make it. We have to be mentally prepared for a difficult game because, first of all, it's a final. Second, it's a very difficult team. They show it several times this season against, especially when they face the favorites, let's say. So we know what's coming, and we know the amount of kilometers and the amount of runnings that we have to do in this game if we want to be the winning team in the end of the 90 or 95 or 120 or whatever is coming.
The coach will take questions from the floor. This is, of course, a press. It's not my press conference. It's your press conference. So let's take questions. I saw a hand there, Karabo. You can get the mic to him. Just pass it on.
Good afternoon, Coach. Karabo from Sekhukhune. Coach, welcome to Toronto Pirates once again. Is this what you've imagined, coming through Toronto Pirates this season? Already won a trophy, taking the club back to the premium continental football, and now, on the verge of winning a second trophy, possibly on Saturday. Is this what you saw yourself, to this club when you arrived at the beginning of the season? Thank
you. I didn't think about it before. I mean, once again, I want to sound good when I say this, but where we are, it's the reason why we have the opportunity to fight for titles. I mean, we have a fantastic structure. We have a big squad full of talent that allowed you to dream about it. Then you have to find a way that you want to do it, to win. There's many different ways to win in this sport. We try to find our own, but we are in the right place to do it. So it's not a surprise that we can be one of the teams who is fighting for the titles with other group of. So obviously, when you start the season and you are riding a club like this or driving a team like this, it's obvious that you think about being the final games. Then get the titles requires a lot of things that must happen during the season. Dynamics, injuries, a piece of luck that you need also to win in the games. But we are in the right place, so it's not a surprise to see our name in the last game, in the last game of every tournament. I'm so happy to make it possible, to be part of the group who is making this possible, to give some reasons to trust on us, to our fans, to the people who's following us, which is one of the important things, if not the most. And it's been a long journey since we start, and I'm very proud I think we are the only team who played every possible game this season. So, like I said weeks ago, it tells quite a lot about how competitive the group is.
Okay, let's move the mic to. Okay, Clyde, you can go ahead.
Good afternoon, Coach. Clyde from Supersport.com. Coach, you've been nominated for Coach of the Season, and when you look at the other two candidates, Gavin Hunt as well as Coach Rulani, where do you place yourself there? And what do you think winning this cup will also rubber stamp your position? Thank you.
I'm really focusing in what's coming on Saturday. We have a final. We have an opportunity to lift one more trophy this season with my team, with my players, with my coaching staff, with all the people around the club, with our fans. That's the only thing that occupies my mind so far. I'm not aware, I'm not concerned about anything else, to be honest, than what's coming on Saturday, 6 o'clock? Yeah, 6 o'clock.
Thank you, Coach. Lawrence?
Coach, Lorenzo from Legacy Times. It was on Tuesday, Miguel said winning the Nedbank Cup will not make up for what happened in the league this season. Is that the general consensus in the Pirate squad that, not being competitive for the league title is not good enough for this entire campaign?
Can you imagine how competitive we are? That we can finish the season with 2 trophies, second spot, but still we are not satisfied. And it's the truth. I don't want to be arrogant, because I'm not. Okay? So it's a competition. And what we want in every competition is play until the end, have the opportunity to fight until the end. And we didn't in the league. It's a fact. So that's something that we accept it, and we try to correct and understand what happened in that competition, that we didn't have the opportunity to fight until the end. At the same time, we have to be proud of what we did, especially in 2023, in the last 12, 14 games, I don't know how many, but we managed to, again, to be consistent in the tournament, to be one of the best teams, let's say, in terms of performances. I think we were the best in terms of our results, but also the performances were good. So we look for the future with more optimism and in a strong way. But that's the pain, let's say, that we couldn't fight until the end. Our purpose was to fight until the end in the Nedbank, in the MTN, no matter who, and we did it. I'm not talking about the results. I'm not saying this just because we are in the final, so we are great and blah, 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 no. But in the league, we were not, and I think that I'm repeating myself, but we were not consistent. It's a fact. We collect too many bad results in a period of the season and that's why we couldn't fight. And that's the pain that, in this case, Miguel expressed, and it's there in the locker room, and we take it serious, and we will try to do it better the next time we have the opportunity.
Siasana?
Coach Siasana from Sunday World. I know that you don't really like talking about individual players.
But
please take us through the state of readiness of Tim Kosidoj. We saw him earlier this week in training with the rest of the squad. Are we likely to see him feature in the final on Saturday?
We just finished the -2 training 1 hour ago. We will face tomorrow the -1 training with 31 players available to be selected. That's the good thing. And they are all very good players, to be honest. So let's see who's coming to the field on Saturday. I'm not going to say who's going to play, obviously. I'll have a headache tomorrow again, to not only to select the start 11, or even to take the 20 players in the list. You can imagine the names who are not going to be in that 20. So whoever is coming to the field is coming with the intention to give their all for the club, for the team, for the group, in order to make possible to get one more trophy for our club. So let's see what's coming. The good news, like I said, is that we have almost the 100% of the players available for selection.
Pendula?
Coach, Dangerous CRB here, friends. Congratulations on reaching the final, Coach.
Thank you.
You just mentioned that you didn't think that at the beginning of the season you didn't think that you come this far with the Pirates in terms of playing 2 finals being nominated for Coach of the Season, I mean, finishing second place in the league. But in the sport where coaches come and go, and now that you've experienced the feeling of winning trophies and you have a chance of winning another one, how much of a legacy you want to leave at around the players now that you're in the mood of winning trophies and making sure that the club is a better team in competing for the league as well coming season? Thank you.
Legacy. Oof, that's a lot. Look, I'm just part of a big structure. One more time, I'm the one who must come here and say what's going on and stuff like that. But it's a big structure. We trying to really push to make sure that Pirates is in the place that belongs, and it's gonna happen. You can be 100% sure it's gonna happen. With Riveiro, without Riveiro, it's just going to happen soon. And that's what we do. We try to work hard every day to make sure that we are at the level that the place where we are requires. I'm a bit annoying with this, but it's a fact. And make sure or be sure that it's going to happen. So it's not about legacy. I have to do my job. I have to do my role during the time that the people who brought me here requires me to do it until the end, with the same passion, with the same dedication, and with the same ethic. Hopefully, myself with the people who is around, we manage to leave something there that they can give continuity in the future. But still, I have 2 more years, so I don't want to talk about legacy so far. We're going game by game. Saturday is a game that makes us feel very motivated, and we really want to play a good football game first of all, and it's a final, and the most important in the end is going to be, if usually in the league the most important is to take the 3 points no matter who or no matter how, imagine in a final. So I think it's early to talk about, well, it's a good question, but I think it's early to talk about that.
Matazi?
Good afternoon, Coach. Coach, a lot of people sort of agree that when you look back at your season, it has been a fairly good season.
Sorry,
people are saying that it has been a fairly good season. You've won the other cup, and players have improved in the national team. Champions League, now you are in this other one. To say, regardless of what happens in the final, it has been a good season. And if you win in the final, it will be a very good season. But I just want to check with you, what do you say to people at the beginning of the season who sort of ridiculed you without knowing you, including us in the media? What do you respond to those people who were calling your names and all this kind of stuff, which was unfair, I must say?
You know what's coming, I think. That's nothing I have to say. I mean, people have the freedom to say what they want, to share opinions, to do evaluations, to speculate. I understand very well where am I, the expectations around my position because of the amount of people who's following the club and the team and the results and the performances. So the moment that I sign here, I must accept it and just do my work as good as possible. But there's no, how can I say, sorry guys, there's no regrets, there's nothing to say about it. It's normal, it's a normal something. Right? We have a lot of time every day to use in our phones, in our computer. We have to talk about something. Sometimes it's politics, sometimes it's football, and Pirates attracts a lot of attention, so I have to accept it, and yeah, that's all. I think it's a normal thing. And then if you have the possibility and the platforms to spread opinions, and that opinion is going to it's gonna touch many people. Well, you have to be also responsible about that, and be serious with your opinions. But that's something that I cannot. There's nothing I can do. The only thing that I can do is to do my best every single day, every single morning with my group, with my players, and make sure, like I said before, that we are at the level that the club requires. That's all.
Thank you, my brother there. Just forgot the name.
Yana Sipembe from Daily Matter Coach. After minute one, I just wanted to find out, Coach. Obviously, Coach has said that you guys are favorites, you backed him out. From a technical perspective, between you and your colleagues, how do you make sure that the players don't take that into mind and get that into the match with that perspective, knowing especially in the matches against Football Academy, Football Academy, and those guys, how difficult they were, even though you guys came in as favorites. So how do you make sure that the players come in with their feet on the ground?
There's nothing specific we have to do. I mean, if you see the players this week, if you had the opportunity to see them training this week, I can tell you 100% that there's no room for, that thought that maybe they are extra confident or real. The rhythm this week was something crazy. I mean, like I said, there's many players available for selection. They are all trying to convince the coach that they are the right choice, they are the right option. So the level in the trainings this week was even higher than usually. And they really want to win. And they know, because we already played Sekhukhune 2 times this season, one under Truter and the other one not. We collect 0 points in Polokwane early in the season, and I can tell you that was not a nice game. Was not. And then we had a recent experience in Orlando, where we did have a lot of possession, a lot of attempts to the goal, not many shots on target, and we couldn't beat them. And we tried. We took that game serious because we want and we need those 3 points. So we know. We analyzed several times Sekhukhune in a short space of time, and we know about the difficulty, and we know the places where we can win the game and the places where we can lose the game. So there's nothing else that we can do than do our normal job with the players and try to convince them about how difficult it's going to be. But in this case, like I said, they know it, and then it's a final. And we go into the final like we did early in the season when we have the chance to play the final, not the occasion. We're going to play the game, and we know, or we think we know, the way we have to approach this game one more time.
Taloy there, SABC?
Most of the time, most of Orlando Pirates crossbones fans, they always cry out, we blew it, where it matters most. So do you think that this time around, you're going to make history and say, happy people are happy again?
Is that program on SABC?
I need your help with the question. What's the question?
He's basically saying, are the Pirates fans going to be happy after the match?
Well, we're going to do everything in order to make it possible, for sure. We know how important it is for them to be part of this club, to be the winning team, how much it represents for them, how nice can be Saturday night in Soweto and in many other places in the country to celebrate one more trophy. So we are responsible about that. We know that we are playing for a lot of people, representing a lot of people, passionate people, and happy people, hopefully, after Saturday.
Really?
Yes, Coach Riveiro from the CBC. Just to go back on Sekhukhune and following on some comments that you just made now, they are not a team that concedes a lot. And when I look at your record and their record, there are some real similarities in terms of their run currently. How do you look at their approach? Especially when you've just said that it's also very difficult to break down. And also if you can just reflect on your view on South African football. In more than 10 months you've been here now, as you also prepare to go and compete on the continent the next few months. How do you reflect on what you've learned locally?
About Sekhukhune, as I said, before we play them in the league, they collect, I think, 10 clean sheets in 20 games. They managed to against Supersport 1 week ago. They beat Supersport, they beat Chiefs twice, they draw Sundowns early in the season, if I'm not mistaken. They beat us early in the season, they draw us in Orlando. So it tells a lot how much they increase their level even in this type of games. It's that type of team that against the big teams, they give even more. Why? Probably because of experienced players in the squad. They know how to play those games. They get the motivation, the extra motivation. So it's going to be difficult. There's very important players with huge experience in that squad. They have a great opportunity as a group. They're not in finals every season, so they know how important is the game, and that it's going to make the game very, very difficult. But again, we did our job. We sure that we know how to create problems for them, and them is about to be accurate during the 90 minutes. We're going to have opportunities, that's for sure. We have to make sure that we capitalize those ones, and we are serious in the moments that the game will require, because there's also moments where Sekhukhune can create problems to us. And about the South African football, one more time, I'll repeat myself. I think it's different. I'll speak now the way you want about the individuals, but without names. I think it's a football full of talent at least in the tiers that I have more knowledge, which is the PSL and the first division as well, DDC league. You can see the individual performances are exceptional. The technical level of the players, from my point of view, from a European coach point of view, it's so high. There's room for improvement. Obviously, I don't have a huge knowledge of the development, how it's working, where are they putting the focus so far. Only I can have a little opinion about our own in Orlando Pirates, but not the general picture. I cannot really build a proper opinion about that. But like I said many times, the technical level, the talent, you can see the amount of, it's easy to see the amount of hours that the players expended when they were in their early stages playing football, probably not only in the academies, which is something that we are missing a bit in Europe. Now our players are only playing 2-3 times per day in their academies, but there's no time anymore to spend time with your friends. Let's put it in this way, playing in the street like I did, for example, when I was a child. So that's maybe the main difference that I see, that capacity to solve problems as an individual, the technical level, the skills. But then there's other things that needs to be improved as well, but this is a long conversation to have about it. And still, I think that 10 months or 11 months here don't really allow me to have a proper opinion of the South African football, like like an expert, let's say.
Okay, last.
Good afternoon.
Can you just take us through what goes through the mind of a coach going into the final? What are some of the things that you think about even when you leave the training ground? Some of the lingering thoughts? Do you think about trying to surprise the opponents with a tactical tweak, or do you try to opt for one player over the other purely because of the occasion and what the occasion demands in terms of the magnitude? Do you go for experience or form, those type of difficult decisions that you have to make in the spur of the moment?
No, if I have to summarize in one thought, probably is to make sure that us, and especially the players, they're gonna have the main role in the final. They don't wake up the day after thinking why I didn't or what if. That's probably what I want to make sure before the final, and where I occupy my mind the most, because we are in the end of May. The job is done. The things we try to do are already, on the table. There's still room for improvement for the next season, but this season is done. So it's about make sure that the players understand that it's a final, it's 90 minutes, and we have 90 minutes to make it possible. After that, it doesn't matter if we think, oh, why if I should be a bit more relaxed or be more brave or try this. No, let's do it tomorrow. Let's make sure that it's enough. And if it's not enough because the opponent is better than us tomorrow, we move to the next one. But the target and the purpose is, like I said many times, is do everything in order to play the final game in every competition. It's our, I think you use the word mandate many times. I will say our obligation or our objective, okay?
Last question, Temba, can we get a microphone here? Temba Shabala, Lekosi FM.
Coach, the fans have done their work, the game is sold out. What's your message to the fans who have made it possible for it to have the good atmosphere on the stands? And secondly, Coach Tuta says he has added one more defender into the 7 that he's been defending with. Now he's going with a block of 8. Technically, how much of a challenge is it to play against a team that says we are coming to defend? So you were playing small-sided games as you were preparing during the week. How much of a headache is that, having to deal with a team that has got their intentions here, that we'll catch Pirates on a break, we'll catch Pirates on a set piece, we're coming there to defend with 8 or even 9 if it takes?
I don't think so. Now I have to trust you or no?
You can even ask the premier.
No, I think.
Just for some context, there was a question. I think the question was asked that he normally defends with 7. And he said lately he's added another one. It's 8.
No.
But I think it was a light article.
I think we all defend with 11. Only maybe PSG is defending with 10 and he's dropping somebody there up front. Now, serious, I think sometimes we went through games this season that our intention was not defend, but we couldn't keep the possession. We couldn't break the pressure of the opponent. So sometimes our intention is not defend, but we finish, and it happens to us during the season, moments where we couldn't manage just to keep the possession and we have to defend, and we have to do it with everyone. And during the final, for sure, there's going to be moments where Sekhukhune is not going to handle the rhythm or the moment, and we're going to force them to defend, and probably there's going to be moments where we're going to suffer as well. In every game, there's always different games. It's not always the same. It's not happening the same thing during the 90 minutes. It's not. There's moments where you suffer, where you have to defend low, and I think we have to be prepared for every scenario. If we are leading, probably Sekhukhune will push the game in a rhythm that we will have problems, and we will have to defend well and organize, and the other way. But like I said, it's a team that used to defend with, if we are now a bit more technical, with a lot of depth in the defensive phase. That's a fact, that they defend accumulating numbers behind the ball and very, very, very close to the goal when they decide or the opponent push them to defend low. The consequence of that is that we will need and require a very good manage of the ball, of the rotation of the ball, and at the same time make sure that we finish every action deep enough. Because the problem in that type of approach is that you have around 70 meters behind you, unprotected, open, and very difficult to cover. And the advantage there, in those scenarios, maybe you get the feeling that you are dominating the game, but you are not dominating the game. The opponent is doing that. And the one who is exposed is yourself. So you have to make sure that you finish in the right way every action. Because in football, most of the attacks you are going to lose the ball. It's a fact. We are not playing handball, we are not playing basketball. So you have to decide where are you going to lose the ball. Because most of the times this is what's going to happen. And that's the advantage for the opponents when they approach the games in the way you mentioned before. So we have to be ready for that. We have to accept that, how can I say, you play against Real Madrid, you know what's going to happen with Vinicius. It doesn't matter how much you train, how much you prepare. You know that there's going to be a moment that he's going to sing you. He's going to put you in your box. You understand what I mean? So it's the same. We are prepared for that, but anyway, we know that there's going to be one or two transitions, hopefully no more, that they're gonna put us in troubles for sure. And we know it. We are training for that, but it's going to happen. But that's football. The fans, what can I say to the fans? They are following us in numbers wherever we go. In the away games, the atmospheres are amazing. 30,000 last game in Durban, if I'm not mistaken. They're going to pack the stadium one more time. Just help us, push us, demand, and be patient sometimes, because like I said, it's going to be a difficult game. It's not going to be a piece of cake. But just thank you for the support the whole season, and hopefully we can make them happy one more day.